How's it going?
Hi, everybody.
I'm Stark Sands.
I'm Billy Porter.
We are in Kinky Boots.
Yes, and we're here to answer all of your fabulous questions.
Yes.
Okay, so this is from Sarah. How long did it take for you to master your British accent? And did your wife Gemma help you?
I had the luck of doing a British accent for my first Broadway show, which was called Journey's End in 2007, and it was a very similar dialect. And I worked really hard back then to get it right. For this, it came quickly because I had practiced it, and as Sarah mentions, my wife is English, and I hear it every day, and I have that sort of built-in bonus of knowing where it sits in my voice. So yes, it didn't take me as long as it would have if I didn't have my lovely wife, Gemma.
So no and no. No.
No, I haven't asked you a question. This is a question from Maggie.
Maggie.
If you could spend a day with any famous diva, who would you choose and why?
Wow. There are so many.
I'm going to say living or dead. I'm going to add to this, Maggie.
Living or dead. There are so many amazing divas whose shoulders on which I stand. But I would have to say Oprah.
Work.
I'm a middle-aged white woman. I watch Super Soul Sundays. I'm addicted to OWN. It would have to be Oprah.
Great.
Okay, so from Alessandre. What do you think it would be like if you and Billy switched roles one night?
I've actually thought about this, Alessandro, but really more of like a Halloween thing. I know the words to all of Billy's songs, and he knows the words to all of mine. It's just what happens when you've been doing a show for 6 months. And I could not even come close to doing what Billy does, but it would be really fun to try. It'd be really fun for me to sort of unlock my own Lola.
Your inner Lola?
My inner Lola, because it's there. I get the taste of it with those boots. And man, I would love to try with that.
Well, backstage all the time, I always do your recitative. Do I belong here? Am I what's wrong here?
A lot of questions in that. Okay, Billy, this is from Hallie. Not that Hallie. What are the most often played 3 songs on your iPod?
I listen to a lot of contemporary gospel music. And so right now I would have to say Ted Wynn, God Believes in You. I would have to say Smokey Norfolk, Run Till I Finish. And I would have to say, what would be the other one? Anthony Hamilton, I Will.
I get a taste of those every night because I pop in.
Yeah, because I'm screaming them
yes,
before the show as a warm-up.
So I've heard snippets.
Oh, me, from Lauren. Which of your American Idiot tattoos would you choose to have in real life?
That's a good question, Lauren. That's a good question, Lauren. I had the amazing ability to help design those tattoos. I should say I helped choose them. There were 15 of them, and some of them the designer picked, and some of them I got to pick. And not just from like the tattoos that were in the book of tattoos, I got to pick images online that meant something to me. One of them, that was one of my favorites, was a little gem, and it had the word Gemma written above it, because at least if I'm gonna wear fake tattoos for a year of my life, I might as well have my fiance's name on my arm. And the other one that I would keep is there's a bird, a great blue heron, that I had on my shoulder over here that was from my dad, who passed away 10 years ago, and that was his favorite bird. So I actually really thought about getting that one. And then I realized that my dad, were he living, would say, Stark, what are you doing? So I didn't do it. If you were going out on the town in one of Lola's costumes, which one would you pick?
If I was going out on the town with one of Lola's costumes, I'd probably pick the Periwinkle blue Get Christy Love number with the hat cocked to the side.
Sex is in the heel.
the Sex is in the Heel outfit.
Yes.
Because those shoes are the highest and the cutest.
It looks right.
And you can still see my legs, and it's a mini dress, but it's all about that hat. It's all about that hat.
I get the hat for about 2 seconds. I know what he's talking about.
From Andrew, when I was a lead in my high school musical, I channeled my inner Billy Porter. Do you find that Billy's qualities rub off on you?
Yes. Yes, I am blessed to spend an awful lot of time around Billy Porter and Lola, in equal measure, actually, because I see Billy more than anybody else in the cast, and that's because we both get to work pretty early and we check in on each other, and we have lunch together sometimes. But I spend a lot of time with Lola, and yes, my sass level has increased since I started this job, and I too sometimes will channel my own Billy Porter sometimes. Billy's taught me to sort of be a little more, I don't want to say stand up for myself because I believe that I stand up for myself, but sometimes to not avoid confrontation if it needs to happen. Billy taught me how to go to zero.
You gotta go to zero. Let the kids know you mean business.
So I'm learning. As I've said before, I'm a mentee. Billy's got another mentee. All right. From Mandy. You've talked about having lean years in show business. What's the first thing you splurged on after getting Kinky Boots?
I signed a lease on an apartment, a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, with a concierge and parking in the basement. So I have a place to live, which I did not have for quite some time. So that's what I splurged on. That's what I'm splurging, continuing to splurge on. From Adam, growing up with such a cool name, do you feel pressure to name your kid something interesting?
I don't feel pressure to name my kids something interesting, but I am interested in naming my kids something interesting because my name is my mother's maiden name. You know, it's not, wasn't picked out of the blue. It was my mom's last name, and she wanted to keep it in the family, so I got it. And I liked the fact that I didn't know any other people with the first name Stark. So I think it sets you apart a little bit. So we haven't made any decisions yet, but someday when we have kids, I think both of us are interested in picking different names, not average names.
Not like Apple.
No, no.
Don't name your children Apple.
No, Apple or,
Or Cosmos.
or
some stupid shit like
Zanzibar.
that. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Your turn. From Tyler. What has it been like working with Harvey Fierstein and Cyndi Lauper? And can you do an impression of them both?
Oh, I'm not an impressionist, but I will try. Cookie, how are you? You are wonderful. So that's hard. That's okay.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
oh my God, you guys. It's like you have to feel it in you have to feel the rhythm in your gut. It's always in your gut. You know what I'm saying?
It's really good.
Is that all right?
That's really good.
I don't really do it very well. What was the first part of the question?
Oh, that was it. What's it been like working with them?
Working with them. Oh yeah, I love that question because, the two of them, Harvey and Cyndi, are very singular artists. And they have found a way to carve out a niche for themselves as artists that I think is really sort of profound and spectacular. And, I've always felt like a bit of an outcast, as I'm sure that they felt like in their early years. And so it was just nice being in the room with people who were able to harness that energy and turn it into something that was positive for themselves. And hopefully that could rub off on me and I can, do something similar with my life. I'm trying to do good, Mama.
You're doing great.
That's my Harvey.
Hi, Cookie. How are you?
This is my Cyndi.
You're doing it wrong.
Just kidding. I heard that a few times, but you know what? I was doing it wrong. And then I started doing it right, because she told me, you gotta cut a vein, you gotta cut a vein, you gotta spill your guts on the stage. And hopefully I can make her proud.
Yes, you do.
I love you, Cindy.
Okay, from Andy. If you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
One specific meal or one type of food? Okay.
I know what that is.
If it was a type of food, it would be sushi.
Uh-huh.
Surprise.
You got to deal with that mercury, though.
I do. People don't know this.
He has mercury issues.
I had mercury issues. I went and got a physical last summer, and
I'm just telling all your business.
it's okay. I don't mind. It's interesting. I got everything tested, and my doctor was like, there's something up with, your numbers are a little weird, but you seem to be perfectly healthy.
Too much of that raw, nasty shit.
Anyway, it turns out that I was mercury toxic, but not mercury poisoned. It was.
Is there a difference?
There is. Mercury toxicity is when you have 20 parts per million, up to 20 parts per million, or around that much. That's what I had, 21, in your bloodstream. And mercury poisoned is 120. And
Potatoes.
potatoes. But yeah, I do love sushi. But if I had to pick one specific meal to eat, it would be probably be the curry that my wife makes for me sometimes. It is so good, and it's a special occasion thing. So whenever she decides to make it, she makes it, and it's so good. All right. Okay. Mike asks, who were your top 3 idols when you were a kid?
Oh, my top 3 would probably be. I would have to say Oprah, Bill Cosby, and Quincy Jones and Whitney Houston are like a close sort of, we'll put the 4 of them in there.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
We met Quincy Jones.
We did meet Quincy
Who
Jones.
sent Billy a very lovely letter, which I have read.
Yes.
And it said some very nice things.
Yes.
And Billy gets to channel Whitney in the show.
Yes, I get to pay homage to the great late Whitney Houston in our show. From Scott, you were such an awesome cheerleader to Billy at Tony Time. What went through your head when his name was called? Does he share with you like he mentioned in his speech?
I, from the beginning, have always been very loud as the cheerleader and the campaign manager for the Billy Porter Tony campaign. And it's because I genuinely believe that Billy deserves to win the Tony, and deserved to win the Tony. And what went through my head when it happened, it was the world, everything is right in the world, because Billy's been working a very long time to get to the place that he's at, and he deserves it. And I'm lucky to be a part of it. And if in some bizarre altered universe, if I had somehow been, if they called my name for some reason, I probably would have said, I probably would have just given it to Billy, and probably would have just said, listen, this is something that I wouldn't have without you. And Billy said something very similar out there. So I want to thank you personally for what you said, and the feeling is mutual. In fact, I have something for you.
What is that? Oh no!
This
What
is
is
not
happening
planned.
here?
This is just a token of my appreciation.
Oh, you're gonna make. Am I supposed to open this now?
I want you to open it. I got you this
It's gonna be the
a while
color
ago.
of my apartment walls.
This
How
green?
did you know? Yes,
Just no.
a similar green. Oh goodness. Oh goodness gracious.
You got it?
Oh my God! I love it. Oh, thank you, Starkey.
I love you.
I love
You know what else I love? Can you zoom on this? When I got it. By the way, this is the resident artist, Justin Robertson, Squigs, thebroadway.com. And he sold me this. I told him, don't tell Billy. When I looked closer, I found that I'm on the Squigs. That's me. That's Annalie Ashford, and I believe that's some of our other cast members over there. And there's the Kinky Boots.
I love that.
So,
This is stunningly beautiful. And now I don't have to buy it for myself.
There was one more piece of that question that I forgot to answer, which was, has Billy shared it with me? I'm gonna take care of it while Billy is on vacation.
Yes.
From Aaron. I loved your vlog. That's a video blog. I loved your vlog, Land of Lola. So did I. What was the funniest reaction you got from your fans getting an inside look at your process?
The funniest?
What's the funniest reaction you got from your fans?
You know, I didn't get any funny reactions, but I will say that I got a really special and poignant reaction from a kid from Detroit who was in a wheelchair and clearly disabled in some way. And he came to the show, and his parents brought him to the show, and he handed me a bag of Sour Patch Children. And I burst into tears.
Because he knew you ate them.
Because he knew all of it. He knew everything.
Because of the video.
Because of the vlog, and he just knew everything. He was sort of obsessed with Lola. And so it wasn't funny, but you know, it was really, really sweet.
That's amazing.
Really touching.
Hey guys, thank you so much for all the questions.
Thank you for all of your amazing questions, and come on down to the Al Hirschfeld Theater and see us in The Boots That Are Kinky.
302 West 45th Street, 10036.
Kinky Boots!
Thank you.